Good morning, everyone. It's sure great to have you back for another virtual cafe for women entrepreneurs today. If it's your first time, welcome. It's so great to have you with us. And if you have joined us many times before, then welcome back. It's so wonderful to have you joining us for today. Of course, we have a virtual business card exchange. And throughout the pandemic, our networking opportunities have been somewhat limited. So these virtual cafes once a month have really allowed us to connect with other women, whether that's in the Kingston region where we're located or somewhat outside. So welcome. It's so great to have you with us. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Carrie Ramsey, and I'm the project manager for the We Can project, which is led by Queen's University and which is funded by FedDev Ontario through the Women Entrepreneurship Strategy Ecosystem Fund, which is a mouthful, but We Can stands for Women Entrepreneurs Can. And so we certainly have seen the resilience of women throughout this pandemic, and I'm sure you can all attest to that fact. So why don't you just take a moment in the Zoom chat. We will be hearing from, I hope, all of you today in terms of a little bit about your business and just letting folks know about what it is you do. But why don't you drop a note in the Zoom chat right now? Let us know where you're connecting from geographically. If you have a website, a LinkedIn, maybe a social handle, and you'd like us to follow you on Instagram or Facebook, something of that nature, let us know so that we can connect beyond this hour-long virtual cafe today. And while you're doing that, I will take this opportunity to let you know I'm connecting to this workshop from the Bay of Quinte region. And this, of course, is the traditional territory of the Huron, the Anishinaabe, and the Haudenosaunee peoples. And so one of the great honors and privileges I have as the project manager of the We Can project is getting to work with so many Indigenous women entrepreneurs throughout our many projects, throughout our many programs. And we've had more than 20 programs since the project began. Of course, we do have a dedicated program for Indigenous women entrepreneurs, which of course is our Quabiz program. And I will drop a link to that in the show notes in the Zoom chat today, if that's of interest. So welcome everyone. It's so great to have you. If you would benefit from it, you can enable the live transcription today. Thank you for those who are sharing in the chat. I know it takes a little bit of time to get your business name written out there. It just sometimes is a little bit easier for us to keep track. As well, if anyone afterwards would like to request a copy of the recording today, I will make sure to send the meeting chat along with it so that you are able to remember and recall all of the women that were here today. So if you don't put your name in that Zoom chat or you aren't able to for some reason, it just won't show up on that meeting chat. All right, so thank you so much for joining us today. I know that we'll have some others as well. So the way this is going to work today is that we are going to give everyone here, let's see, I'll just do a quick count. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we should still be within our time limit if we do 2 minutes or less. A little introduction about yourself and your business. This is, by the way, excellent practice, don't you think? I know some of you have done this before with us, and it's really great to be able to encapsulate what you do in your business in 2 minutes or less. It's just a really great, I mean, people used to call it the elevator pitch, but you know, just being able to summarize what you do and let us know why you're excited about it. So we will get this kicked off today, and the way that we'll do that, thank you for sharing in the chat, is I will use the chat. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to use the chat. If you can just raise your hand, you can raise your physical hand or use your reaction button, and that will help me to keep track of folks that are interested. Sometimes people just attend to learn about other women's businesses, but they're not yet confident to do so themselves. So Karina, I saw your name go up first, so we'll start with you. Thank you so much for volunteering, being the first person. And I am going to time these, okay? So I was a professor for 15 years and I am used to timing people. So I will make sure that we all get our chance to share today. All right, so let's make sure that we're all muted, except for the person who is sharing to help reduce background distractions. Karina, over to you. Go ahead and tell us what you're all about in 2 minutes.
Good morning, ladies. Really nice to have been invited here. This is my first time, so I feel very honored. I am actually, thank you, Eileen. Aileen. not Eileen. I'm actually from Toronto, Ontario, born and bred in Toronto. And 7 years ago, I decided to go back to school and find a new way for children to know how to grow their own food. So I actually successfully invented a garden kit that goes along with a milk crate. So very easy, as long as you've got a milk crate, you can start growing your own food. So it's called My Grow Box, and it will be coming to the market very soon. So that's who I am. And I'm known as Queen Bee because the overarching name of our company is pollination. And the different thing about our company is that we raise awareness about the vital relationship between bees and our food sources. So we're a bee and food company, not just.
I love it.
I guess we're a B
such
Corp.
interesting businesses. Yeah. Karina, did you drop your link into the Zoom chat as well? How people can find out?
I did. So anyone
And I
that would
believe
like
I
to
connected to you on LinkedIn this morning, so I could also.
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Okay.
And by the way,
yeah.
If you're taking notes of people's names, which are usually on their profile, you can link to them afterwards on LinkedIn. Especially if you're linked to me, then you should be able to link to anyone. If I have already linked to them, it makes your job a little easier. All right,
Thank
wonderful.
you so much.
Thank you. Welcome. It's great to have people. I love that it's your first time and you went first. Like, there's no fear. I love it. All right, who would like to go next? If you want to raise your reaction button. Oh, Francis. Yeah, I love the human reaction buttons even better. Over to you.
This is how newbie you are. I don't even know where the screen is to pop up and say hi. So hi, I'm Frances Macleod. I am the proud owner of Celesta Soaps. I make all sorts of beautiful artisan soaps and bath and body products, bubble baths and lotion bars and that sort of thing. A little bit unique maybe in some sense. I'm actually retired. I've been a nurse here in Kingston for 40 years. And so I retired from that, but wanted something to do and follow a passion that I've had for a long, long time. So I am a home-based business, and I really am happy with being a home-based business, but want to grow it a little bit more and just get more connections. And while able to do things as in my home and meet great people through the different avenues I've reached so far and get my products out there. So
I love it. And sorry, did you say where you're based, Francis? You're in the Kingston area, right?
I'm here in the Kingston area, in the west end of Kingston, yes.
Wonderful. Very cool. Well, I know that there are probably some other product types of businesses on here as well. And then there's some cool synergies because we also have a company that actually does delivery for retail and restaurants, because I know delivery is sometimes an issue as well for small business owners, like when people order. Yeah, so there's some really cool synergies today, which I think you'll find. Awesome. Pleasure to have you in the group, Francis. Welcome. Who would like to go next? Go ahead and raise. Yeah, Paula, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Paula Sarah. I'm based in Kingston, Ontario, and I'm the nut bar dog lover behind Barking Up the Green Tree, eco-sustainable. I don't know, I kind of changed that. So it's eco gear for large dogs and their families. It's about planet first, dogs always, or yeah. Anyways, it's on the screen because obviously I don't talk to anybody anymore, so I've forgotten what my own slogan is. So I handcraft dog collars, leashes, yoga mat straps from car seat straps, and it's about teaming up and diverting waste and products that wouldn't necessarily be even considered. So yeah, slowly growing and learning and building partnerships. Wonderful.
I love it. And Paula, did you mention that your dog collars and such are made from seat belts? Did you say that?
Yeah. Yes.
Did you say
and
that?
actually, yeah, I did. Maybe I did. Maybe I thought it, but I may not have said it out loud. And also, within the week, I'm launching a new puppy line of collars for large dogs.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
As the owner of a giant golden doodle, I know it can be a challenge just to find a sweater that fits some of these dogs. So yeah, these products, especially for big dogs, is a great niche market. I love that. And you also, I think, had connected in the Zoom chat as well with your link as well. And if you're just joining us and you haven't yet dropped a note in the Zoom link about your website or your social handles, like your Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, by all means, feel free to do that, and we would love to connect with you. All right, so by raising of a hand, and I'll do my best to scan the room here. Go ahead, Stacy.
Hi there, everybody. I'm Stacy Roque, and I am it's the second time I've been on one of these, so I also need the practice, so I appreciate you all. but I'm the owner of Straight Up Leadership, and Straight Up Leadership is a coaching, consulting, and training business, and I'm specializing in healthcare. So when Frances talked about being a nurse, I'm also a nurse, and have left the corporate world back in July, started my business in October. And so what I'm really looking to do is work with healthcare leaders to amplify their potential and the potential of their teams, and ultimately improve healthcare. So that's me.
I love it. Oh, such a needed service. And I love how she said, I retired in July and started my business in October. She took 2 months of retirement and now she's on her next venture. Isn't that so much like women? I know, knowing many of you in the group, I see other synergies here, but I'm going to wait for you to introduce yourselves and share so that you can communicate that. Well, welcome, Stacey. It's so great to have you. Go ahead, Sheila.
Okay, I'm Sheila Norris. I'm based at the east end of Kingston, and I was thinking hard about this. I know I should have had this all at my fingertips, but I've come to realize that everything that I do and have done for the last several years has been focused on having conversations with people to help them better understand themselves and the impact they have on the people around them. And the current iteration of what I'm doing is I'm doing an online course for the other end of the spectrum. So I'm working with early managers, early career managers, and helping. My secret agenda is I'm helping seed the leaders of tomorrow. And so giving them the tools to be great managers now so that they're ready to take on leadership roles in the future. And my focus is really on the STEM industries. So on a different aspect of different end of the spectrum and a different genre in a sense.
I love that. I love when we niche down, and anyone who knows me as a client on the weekend project, I love when people find their niche, because sometimes we start broad and then we find that happy place. And so both those last businesses certainly have done just that. So awesome. All right, next up, and I know Sheila, I believe you put your coordinates in there as well. Janice, over to you.
Hi, I'm Janice Dirksen, and I'm an energy healer with a dog, an energy healer and a hypnotist. I help people overcome their habits, their fears, their limiting beliefs, build confidence. And I do it all by creating a personalized package for them. I have a lot of modalities that I can put together and create an extremely personalized package that helps them get to what they want. And I work out of I'm in Newborough, but I work sort of the Kingston area because everything I do is on Zoom right now.
Thank you so much. And yeah, we've already heard about how many of you are either doing that e-commerce side of the business. You've maybe pivoted from you used to do face-to-face and now it's online. Then who was it? It was Sheila just mentioned the online courses. So high five to every single one of you as we have become more and more virtually aware. And I think that moving forward, we're all going to have a hybrid version of our business, even if we're in a high touch business, like someone like Celia or others that I know in the group. Then yeah, it's just a really good plan for us to always have a hybrid version as we move forward. And we haven't had much choice, have we, lately? So thank you so much for sharing that, Janice. All right, Kelly, over to you.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I run 2.5 businesses. COVID gave me the opportunity to go back to school. And yeah, because doing nothing is not, no. I used to do IT stuff and I still sort of do, but my main business now is Schwab Media, which is a accessible social media marketing company. We work with anybody, but mostly small businesses that can't afford to spend the time to do it themselves, because social media can be messy and time consuming. But the other emphasis is on accessibility, to make sure that the message is accessible to the broadest market. We also work with LGBTQ and differently abled clients. And the IT thing kind of comes in with assistive technology to make sure that our clients can do their own stuff as well. And
I love that so much.
Yeah. yeah, it's very fulfilling. I'm a little bit disabled. My dad is, my oldest son is, so it kind of like, okay, I'm in the game already. It just makes sense. And a friend of mine and I started a documentary a year ago, almost now, it's called the Trans Canada Project. That's the half business. Nobody goes into the documentary business to make money. I will tell you that. It's not a revenue generator. But I'll put my links in there for that as well. We tried to find Canadian stories on transgender men and women across Canada and couldn't find any. So we decided to make our own.
Wonderful.
So,
good for you, Kelly. And if you reach
yeah.
out to me, there's another client that I see some synergies there as well that might be a benefit to you, who has launched a
Awesome.
nonprofit. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Very cool. Thank you so much. And you said
you.
you dropped your coordinates into the Zoom chat as well, so that
I
if
did.
anyone requests the meeting chat from today, you'll have all of those coordinates in there. Thank you so much. Fantastic to meet you. And Kelly was talking about accessibility, which I think the pandemic has just highlighted, and I'm learning from my clients every single day about this. Yesterday, yesterday I did a profile on the Kingston Circus Arts. And some of you know Erin Ball, who's a double amputee with below the knee. She runs this incredible circus program. And everything she does in the circus arts is accessibility focused. Not only that, but her social media as well, and the way she describes things. It's just absolutely incredible. So it's so wonderful to see our clients stepping up and doing that. All right, so who would like to go next? Just go ahead and raise your hand. Yeah, Celia, over to you, and then Tegan.
Hi guys, I'm Celia Wynn. It's nice to see a couple familiar faces here. So basically, I am the owner of a new business called Harmonic Egg Kingston. And a harmonic egg is basically a sound and light healing chamber. And I'm saying basically because it's a lot more than that, but it uses a blend of sound vibration, light vibration, and sacred geometry to help people get into a rest and relaxation state. And I really don't want to overemphasize this enough, or I want to overemphasize this, that it'll be, sorry, I've had a crazy day. I've had an absolutely crazy morning. Anyway, it's a really cool sound and healing chamber, which I found because of my own illness. And now I am one of only 10 practitioners in Canada to have this thing, and I am bringing it to Kingston. We open March 23rd, and I've got my website link in the chat. So please feel free to message me, check that out, and I'll discuss it with you all as much as you want. Yeah. Okay.
I'm double tasking. I was just dropping a note into the Zoom chat. We just did a story on Celia and her business earlier this week. And so I just said, if you're not already following We Can Queens You on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, we actually are also on LinkedIn. You can read Celia's full story to get to know what that harmonic egg is about, because it's a little complicated, and she explains it so beautifully in the story. So you can check it out there. Yeah. And if you are a weekend client, by the way, and we haven't featured you yet on our social media channels, it's a great way to boost your own followers, as well as just get the word out. So I dropped my email into the Zoom chat. And if you're thinking, well, first of all, how do I become a weekend client? It's totally free. And you can just reach out to me to see if you're eligible, just because we primarily serve underrepresented groups of women. But reach out to me if you have any questions. And then, like I say, if we haven't featured your business yet, then we would love to do that. All right, Tegan, over to you, my dear.
Hi, everyone. Everybody has so many great business ideas. I love them all. So my name is Tegan. I'm the owner of YGK Takeaway. We're a local retail and food delivery solution here in Kingston. We offer both merchant to consumer and platform to consumer services. And we're currently onboarding a few merchants onto our platform or our app, and are soft launching that soon, which is pretty exciting. Other than our social commitment to local nonprofits like Dawn House and Loving Spoonful, the major difference between our platform service and apps like Skip the Dishes, DoorDash, Uber Eats, is that we charge merchants 5% commission versus the 15 to 25%. That is insane. So really looking forward to connecting with new women entrepreneurs for sure.
I love it. And Tegan's business is one I had referred to earlier for those with product or even food related businesses. And Tegan's been working with a lot of our weekend clients, sort of just onboarding one at a time to see if the fit is right. So again, if you're a product-based business or food related and you don't want to do the delivery part of the business, Tegan has recognized a gap in the market and has stepped in to fill it. So absolutely amazing. And that's in the greater Kingston region, correct, Tegan? Yeah, excellent. Okay, who would like to go next? Heidi, go ahead.
Hi, my name's Heidi. I'm in Kingston as well. Originally, I started in Barrie, so I have a lot of connections there, but then moved to Kingston and I'm building up my connections again. My organization is called Luana's Bookshelf. It started about 6 years ago where I made connection with a school in Dominican Republic and wanted to help. So I came up with the idea of creating a storybook with the children so that there's something created by the children that we can sell to raise money for their education. A few years later, I saw success in this. So I sold everything I owned and went backpacking in search of more schools to see if we could make a bigger difference. So we now have 7 schools in 6 countries. We include Guatemala, Cambodia, Philippines, Peru, Dominican, and Haiti. And we have 7 storybooks that are created by the children. And we also, now we're at the point we have a subscription package that we run for 12 months. It's full of arts and crafts and really cool things to get our kids here in Canada learning more. And we're also working on a program to get into the school system, into the grade 6 curriculum. And it's all about global unity and how education is, it's really, it makes a huge difference in the world and in a country itself. And so what we really want to do is empower these children and get them an education and try from the bottom up to start healing some of these, some of these places and give them an opportunity. So that's Luana's Bookshelf, Heidi Jones.
So inspiring. And I know Heidi and some others in the group today are a part of one of our masterminds, or there might be 2 different masterminds that some of you are a part of. And I know that we're working with Heidi there as well. And so exciting to see these awesome, as Tegan said, these really cool business. And I believe that Heidi, yours is a social enterprise, correct? So it's a,
yeah. Well, currently no, it's not a social enterprise.
Okay.
Currently it's a not-for-profit, but we did
Okay.
file for charity status in July. So we're just waiting to hear about that.
Excellent. All right. And again, as a weekend client, if you are in the process of creating a charity, or I know Kelly, you had mentioned maybe something, I don't know if part of that is nonprofit. Again, if you're a registered weekend client, we can provide free legal services through the Queen's Business Law Clinic, which helps you to set up that charity, which can be a very daunting process. So if anyone needs support in that area, again, reach out to me.
And we took advantage of that because of you, Carrie. In the beginning, you told me about that, and that was wonderful. It's a very great service.
Well, and you just think one lawyer visit, how many thousands you can save just by using a clinic that's available to us. And sometimes we just don't know about these resources in our own backyard. I know you're not all from Kingston, but I hope that as we mention some of these services, you can think about things that might be in your region. And again, if you're struggling with that and you're in Ontario, I might be able to help connect you perhaps, but your local economic development office is probably the best place to start. All right, who would like to go next? Thanks for that wonderful introduction, Heidi. Go ahead, Jennifer, we'd love to hear from you.
Good morning, everybody. Great to meet you. I am the one odd person out in Edmonton, I think. I'm not sure how I looped in here, but I was like, I just want to meet some ladies. It's been
Alberta represents. I love it.
I also work part-time for Alberta Women Entrepreneurs. So anybody in Alberta, I can reach out. But I run my own coaching practice, and I love working with women entrepreneurs who are really focused on making impact as much as making money. And so that's kind of the name, like Heart Lifted. So connecting in and then also growing to make impact. My clients, they're often feeling just really like overwhelmed, not sure where to put their energy next, how do they prioritize. So I help support them through that, as well as they're often at the point where they're starting to hire employees and expand their team and looking to learn how to delegate and develop those, leadership skills and set up processes. So my personal mission is to support one woman a day And it's why I get up in the morning, and I really love meeting everybody. And I've already connected with a few people. I have a brand new shepherd puppy, so I'm looking forward to connecting with you, Paula. So it's already been worth my while to connect with everybody here. So thanks so much for letting me pop in.
And I love that. I love when we meet coaches, because of course right now we can coach. You could coach, Jennifer, anyone, any place, and I'm sure you're not limited to only Alberta. And the other part of that is I love that more women are reaching out to coaches, realizing that we can't necessarily do it all alone. We do need support, and we can support and empower each other. So some of these vital services, whether it's an online course or a coaching, these different types of supports are really so vital. So thank you so much for connecting with us today. I know you're not the only person from outside Kingston, I will tell you that. So I think there are some others as well. All right, so who would like to go next? Introduce, and by the way, Christine, you're next. I love this fact that you're all keeping it to under 2 minutes, which means we're going to be able to cover everyone and then have a little icing on the cake at the end as well. All right, Christine, over to you, another one of our masterminders. Actually, so great to have you. And then Denise will follow after her.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Christine Geary. I own Maple Leaf Tours. I actually, in 1993, started McCoy Bus Service and Tours with my husband. In 2017, we split personally and professionally, so I rebranded McCoy Tours as Maple Leaf Tours. I've been flatlined for the past 2 years with no tour and travel cruising happening at all, so that's been very difficult. So I've been working on a pivot. I am an Indigenous woman. I am a Satu Dene from the Northwest Territories. I am pivoting, and I am developing a nonprofit charity, which is a resource for residential schools, which my mother was a survivor, and Indian day schools, which I attended 2 in the Northwest Territories. So I am working on and developing a program, an educational program, working towards reconciliation, helping people understand what residential schools and Indian day schools were like. My mother was a trapper in Norman Wells. My father was Danish and was working on the pipelines up north, and out popped me, fair-skinned and round face, but I was white, so my nickname up north was the moon-faced one, because I have a moon face and I'm very bright. So that's what I'm working on. So I'm really looking at working with Carrie and getting this charity nonprofit started for Indigenous people. There's so much that's happening, especially with the Williams Lake discovery that just came out this week. Oftentimes these are in the news and then they're under the carpet. So I'm working with my band and the Indigenous Tourism Association and other organizations to develop a resource, a national resource for education and reconciliation.
Absolutely incredible, Christine. I cannot wait to work with you further on that and to provide resources. Of course, Christine, I think you mentioned you're in the Kingston region,
Yes.
Originally from the Northwest Territories, but the tours that she's running will be based out of the Kingston region. And so very excited. And so you've put your links in there as well. Make sure to connect with her, see what's coming up next. And you got some chuckles with the husband. I know every time you say it, it makes me laugh. Thank you so much for sharing your story as well. All right, so who did I say? Denise, you're up next, and welcome, by the way. I know Ruth just joined us. If you have just joined us and you want to put your link, your website or your socials into the chat, go ahead and do that. But Denise, you're up next.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Carrie, for hosting this. And everybody seems so amazing to me. I wish we could just meet everybody in person, but I love everyone's stories and what they're up to. Everyone's so passionate. It's incredible. So I'm Denise. I'm a graphic designer and a beekeeper. And I've been inspired by our honeybees and the byproducts that they create, which would normally be considered waste. So I've used those products to start making some cosmetics, testing it on friends. It kind of just took off. I sort of married my previous background in pharmacy, graphic design, and farming all together into one little business. So now I operate a rural artisan studio in South Frontenac. In the summer, I'm actually in Prince Edward Island. yeah, the point of the studio, it's called Lilac and Spruce, and we offer quality handcrafted products for you in your home. We have an online shop that we just started. We were in some markets around Christmas time, and yeah, it's just about really the honeybees are the inspiration. So we make jewelry, woodcraft, graphic art, design, apothecary products. Our vision is really just to help others find joy in the simple things in the everyday life. And then our goal is to give back to our community. So that's kind of what we're up to right now. Yeah.
I love it. And Denise, did you mention the name of your business, Lilac and Spruce? I think you did.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get distracted with my duties. I want to make sure that the name is there. And Denise is also one of the women in one of our masterminds. And so I don't know if she's still on the call, Karina, who started out talking about pollination. I think she had to drop off, but there's an interesting synergy there. There might be some ways for the two of you to connect as bee lovers and collectors of all the things that you've been talking about. I love it. Thank you for sharing with us. Fabulous. So for those of you just joining us, we are sort of letting people put up their hand and going through one at a time, allowing folks to share for 2 minutes or less is fine. Trying to make sure we get through as many as we can today, and we should be on track to do that. Natalia, over to you.
Sorry, guys, I just got a new computer, so still trying to set up my Zoom.
No problem.
Pleasure meeting all of you. My name is Natalia. I am actually in Montreal, Quebec. So bonjour de ici. So I actually recently left the corporate world, burnt out, like I'm sure many of you have unfortunately experienced. So the pandemic had really highlighted the things that I did not enjoy about the corporate world. So I decided I was going to take a year off and relax, by which I mean I took 2 months off and then started a business myself. So I just launched a marketing consulting agency. It's called On Point Agency. The website is in progress, so hopefully it will launch by the end of this month. Otherwise, you could follow me on LinkedIn or email me or even text me. I think I dropped all my information in the chat. My specialty is quirky, unusual marketing. So whether it's an unusual industry that needs perking up or needs help, or whether or not it's a project that might be unusual, that's kind of my wheelhouse. So I'm a huge fan of creative marketing, unusual marketing, and helping those who need a little edge as well is kind of my area of expertise, and community building. So happy to connect with you all, interact with you. On the side, actually, maybe I should throw that out. On the side, I've written a book. It's currently being edited and drafted. So I'm very interested in literature, especially fiction and fantasy. I have written a children's book, so hopefully that will be going out soon. No publication yet, but that is my interest, and hopefully I could connect with some of you creative artists and writers and the like. Oh, and I'm raising a dog, so a big dog, so I might want to connect about those leashes. So pleasure meeting you all.
It's so great to have you. Merci, Natalia. It is so wonderful to hear all of these different stories. And to Natalia's point, of course, when she's talking about these quirky parts of your business, we so often discount our own story inside our business. So, and many of you know, I have a podcast that I also do called Power Your Platform, which is all about getting women to tell their stories and build their purpose-driven platforms. And every day, like just last night, I actually was talking to a client, and she was beating her head against the wall because of social media. Of course, the algorithms, like she can't get the growth there. And she realized that what she needs is a media strategy, and to start telling her story in different ways to reach new audiences rather than just, you know, keep hitting up the same ones all the time. So I love the work you're doing, and Natalia, is so important. And so bienvenue, nous sommes très heureuses d'avoir toi ici. And that was not.
Merci beaucoup.
Unfortunately, that was recorded. I apologize for that. All right, so wonderful. Florina, over to you. Let's hear a little bit more about your business, and then Aileen will follow.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here. I haven't been to one of those virtual cafes for women in a while, but I do have a company, started it 3 years ago, called Plasma Group. Bonjour, to a Montreal fellow. I actually did move from Montreal to Kingston about 10 years ago. Speak French better than my bonjour sounded. It's just need a moment to switch my brain on. But I'm actually quite happy to see somebody from Montreal. So my company offers machines automated machines that can do sterilization based on cold plasma processing. It's a sort of a platform technology. We have a patent pending on it. Our products are ready to launch. Still going through the last little steps of commercial validation. And the first application of our technology and machine is for the sterilization of cannabis. But we are hoping to develop other applications in the near future, which in some cases may mean developing different machines, but in other cases may mean just developing new recipes that can be applied effectively to other products. What else about me? I'm in Kingston, and I'm a scientist and engineer, and that's about it. And probably a very strange business, different from the rest of you.
Yes, an incredible woman in tech, and we're so thrilled to work with you, Florina. Boy, what has happened the last 2 years with your business, well, through a pandemic has been quite remarkable. And I know for many of you, there's been days when you feel like nothing is moving forward, and then you turn around and you say, oh my goodness, but look how far we've come in this time. And boy, do we ever wish we could fast track things, but it seems like we're moving through molasses most days with this situation we're in. But the resilience of the women on this call are just incredible, not just Florina, but many, many of you. So just keep at it, folks. Just hang in there, because I know it can be very lonely, as someone else had mentioned, and can be very frustrating so many days. So thank you for that. I had said someone that was going to go next. Oh, Aileen, and then Danica. Thank you so much. Let's keep this conversation going. I'm so interested to hear what's next.
Good morning. Nice to be here. It's been a while since I was at a virtual cafe as well, but my name's Aileen Edwards. I also left the corporate world after many years of human resources and leadership coaching for someone else. And just like you, burnout and wanted to do something different. I opened up a business back in 2020. I'm actually approaching 2 years of my coaching business. I live here in Frankfurt, so I'm a little bit west of everybody else in Quinte West. But I work with women. I work with leaders. I really want to work with people who want to further unlock their potential and do the hard work about how they move forward. So I've had an opportunity to work with some women entrepreneur for Queens and through the weekend program. And that was really, really interesting. And I touched base with them, Carrie, a year later to see where they are and what they've done. And it's been fantastic. So I'm really focusing my coaching this year on women who don't think they're enough, women of color, Indigenous women, LGBTQ, any woman who wants to, get recognized and move forward in their business. So that is me. I did drop my thing in my aimconsulting.ca in the box, and also my LinkedIn.
Awesome.
Nice to be here.
Thank you. And yes, we worked with Aileen before through the weekend project. And for those of you who arrived, in the second half or a little bit later, and you would like to request a copy of the meeting chat so that if there was anything you missed in some of these contacts before, then just reach out to me. My email, I'll put in there one more time as well. You can access this recording from today, which will be on our YouTube channel, but you can reach out to me. By the way, I'll just make a quick note that if anyone wants to be on our email list to find out, maybe you found about this in a weird, wonderful way on the side, but you do want to be in touch through our email list. Not only do we talk about our programs and our workshops, of course, but we do talk about funding opportunities, which would be applicable to women across Canada in most cases. So if you're in Alberta, if you're in Toronto, Montreal even, and that's helpful, then just, again, reach out to me by email. Just don't put it in the Zoom chat. I might miss it. And I'll put my email there one more time if you'd like to be a part of that. I'm also going to, I believe, if I didn't mess it up, yeah, I just dropped a link to what's coming up. In our weekend, we usually have, at least 2 or 3 workshops coming up. And so if they're helpful to you, by all means, you can sign up there as well. All right. Thank you so much for that introduction. Fantastic. Danica, I believe it's over to you.
So we got the Montreal contingent here. Montreal's my adopted home, so I'm a Can American. My mom's from Kentucky and my dad's from Detroit. And I did my schooling in Toronto. So I kind of bring all those perspectives. My business is constellations. And what I do is I help people and teams and organizations reorient to their North Star. So the pandemic, in a way, has kind of opened people's minds. Like before, it was like, Danica, we're not going to change. Everybody just changed. And then that posture goes from this to like a little bit opening up. So the questions, and I employ systems thinking, why are some people more susceptible to burnout? Okay, that might be an element. People who tend to be more empathy might be more helpers, more susceptible to burnout, but they're also overlooked. You don't have a mentoring program to track data in your organization. So I have helped mentor 12 people, but you don't know. The other question, look up, what's wrong with your organization that people are burning out? And that kind of end-to-end systems thinking, like you drive down the road and there's a pothole. Don't you want it fixed? I do. Actually, I heard it's an $800 ticket in Montreal if you do fill the pothole yourself, but I just heard that. So what I do is I use people data. I use a software tool. I didn't design it to tie people strategy to corporate strategy. Do you have the right people in the right roles for what you're trying to do now? And chances are, especially with the pandemic, you may not. You may have really procedural people and you need a bit of innovation to pivot. And so I can help have those conversations, starting with the person, then the team, and then the strategy. And I can help with hiring or designing the team or diagnosing some problems. And I would say I'm a happy child of divorce. Like, it was acrimonious. It took years. We never wanted our parents back together, though, because we knew status quo was not great. So like, something's got to be better than this. And 8-year-old Danica, we're all speaking English, but I'm translating. And often I found my parents were arguing, but saying the same thing. Well, isn't that the same in these corporations? Oh, you guys are actually agreeing. So I do coaching. I'm an agile practitioner. I'm a scrum master. And I'm holding that space for creating trust, having those conversations, creating teams being autonomous. And where I did not have success in the past, but I am now, is haggling over price, haggling over or trying to describe what I do, especially to like the CFO level. Having the platform has made a difference.
Yeah.
Because they'll pay for software.
Yeah.
So I've just ventured into that. And I'm a certified reseller, and they just started selling to Canada as well.
So interesting. And when you were talking about that, Danica, I remember that quote that talks about, instead of pulling people out of the river, i.e. burnout, we need to go up the river and find out why people are falling in the first place, right? Which is very interesting, what you're all putting it all together. So thank you so much for that. Zoom, the link is in the chat, I'm sure, for Danica as well. Thank you for sharing that. Kokeb, over to you. Did I pronounce that correctly? And I apologize if I did not.
You pronounced it perfectly. Danica, that was really awesome. And my name actually means star. And so that's why I was so motivated to speak right after you.
My name means morning star, Danica.
That's amazing.
And we also have a glowing moon among us as well, I heard, right? Was it?
This is amazing. I found out about this event yesterday, and I have my little business card holder from like 3 years ago, before pandemic, when we used to meet in person, because I used to live for these events. Meeting other people and understanding their stories really energizes me. And so that's why I thought to join. It's not the same as in person, but it will have to do. And so my name is Kokeb. I actually studied neuroscience at Carleton University, so not far, Kingston, Ottawa. And I throughout my university degree, I realized I just realized that, you know, I'm passionate about neuroscience, but I'm also passionate about entrepreneurship as well. And, you know, I'll give you the short story. I was going on a trip to Mexico. I was going down south with one of my friends, and I was looking for a sunscreen that was hypoallergenic and blended well into my skin tone, because, you know, when I was around 10 years old, I had a really bad allergic reaction to some of the harsh ingredients in sunscreen, and I always used a hypoallergenic brand ever since, but it always left me looking very blue. And so when I was going to Mexico with one of my friends, I realized, okay, let me go to Shoppers, go to Sephora. There must be a solution to this. Like, someone must have solved this. And I was really surprised because there was a lack of options for people with sensitive skin that also, you know, looked well on the skin, on different skin tones. And so my friend challenged me. She said, why don't you create a sunscreen line? Like, why don't you solve your own problem? And so for the past year and a half, I've been developing a sunscreen line. It's, you know, this is, you know, formula number, I think 7. Yeah, I just thought to, I just thought to, you know, get to know a little bit about people in my local community, because, you know, on the internet, you can always be friends with anybody all across the world. And I really wanted to bring it back to like this where I'm from, where I am, where I'm living. And so that's why I thought to join this event. And I'm really excited to join your mailing list, because I'm always looking for funding opportunities. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. I don't know if that was 2 minutes or very
amazing. You were pretty much right on there. Let me ask, did you mention, I know you said you went to Carleton. Are you still in Ottawa, or are you located elsewhere?
No, I'm still in Ottawa at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. Well, how wonderful. That's my hometown, by the way. It's so great to hear about that. I love these ideas. And some of you, I'm sure, are like, oh my goodness, I can think of 10 people right now who would buy that product if it was on the market. And I certainly can think of more than 10. Yeah, absolutely incredible. So there's some links there in the Zoom chat. By all means, link to each other on LinkedIn. And yeah, let's start some conversations. That's incredible. All right, thank you for sharing that. So who would like, I don't think I had anyone up next. And I just don't want to make sure. Oh, go ahead, Chaz. Yes, we'd love to hear from you. And then Charisse. And you guys have been doing great with your 2-minute mark. Kokeb was right on there. So Chaz, it's over to you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. You're sitting on some bubble wrap right now, and I'm moving around a lot because there's somebody else in the house, and so there's noises and it'll be interfering. So my name's Chas, and I am an artist that relocated to Kingston from Chatham, Kent 3 years ago, and I came here for healing, and I am a domestic violence survivor and a systematic traumatized survivor as well. I started breaking plates in my backyard because I was pissed off because the system just kept putting their hands on me after men had kept putting their hands on me, and I didn't have a voice left, and I was done. No one was hearing me, no one was listening to me, but everyone wanted to medicate me. And so I started writing my injustices and everything that had ever happened to me down, and started putting paint on it and whipping it at my garage. This everything evolves. So now I'm at a startup stage at this point. So bear with the website, it's very new. It's not new, actually, it's been sitting there for 6 months. But again, I'm also here for healing at the same time. So we're doing some balancing acts. But essentially what it is it will be for team building, emotional outletting, and we rebuild out of the broken pieces that we break. I'll be starting a subscription box for Kintsugi as well, coming out of the workshop, out of the studios, which I plan to have based from Windsor to Kingston up here, and using local artists' seconds in those Kintsugi boxes. Also, within the studio, we'll be using recycled paints that go to Rona. to prevent excess, but yeah, so that's what we'll be doing. That's what we are doing.
I love it. And Chaz, can you remind us, is it called Smash Studio? Is that correct?
It is the Smash Studio company. It was, and I had help with Carrie here, like honing it down, because I did have my big vision done already. I had it, I'm an artist, so it was drawn out, thought out very thoroughly. So for right now, we're selling t-shirts and homemade bracelets and stuff like that for complex post-traumatic stress awareness. Just more importantly, dissociative identity disorder and BPD, which are the two major complex nuts from ACE childhood adversity of severity. So, and I did not know I had any of this until I was 38 years old. So I was a woman that kept getting back up. I was not complacent in staying in a relationship for 10 years with an asshole that beat me up. Excuse my language, and I know we're recording right now. That's not my story. I just thought I had really bad luck. Essentially, that's not what it is. You're a magnet. And so not knowing any of this, I didn't even know if women's shelters existed. I'm glad I didn't, though, because had I of, I don't know if I really would have been as strong as I am now, or just use that as a crutch multiple times in my life, fleeing from domestic violence, because I didn't realize that I was the cycle. Being hardwired into the cycle. So it's in saying that the underlying purpose of the studio is to offer pathways to people within the corrections system, most importantly, women who have stuck up for their own lives in imminent danger and have been drugged through the system and deemed now criminals for it, which is a whole other psyche. So essentially, we would like to create workshops underneath as the underlying level, but it is a for-profit business with a purpose and a mission. So
incredible, Chaz. And also, I hadn't heard the corrections aspect before, but connect with me later if you're looking for connections in the corrections area. We do have a client who has founded a nonprofit, and they work in the corrections facilities across Ontario.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much for sharing that. An incredible story.
Social workers as well. Their clients will be our users.
Okay.
But yeah, so that would be great.
Yeah, reach
social
out
workers.
We'll be doing a focus study group. So that's what I'm doing now, saving up for that to be able to do one up here and one down in Windsor.
Excellent. Incredible. All right, so check out the website, folks. Thank you so much for sharing another inspiring story. I walk away from these sessions energized every time, and also humbled and in awe at what women can do. Now, Charisse, I see you have your hand up, and I think that you were next. I believe you are. And then also after that, over to Ruth, who I think is still on the call. I saw her hand go up. Charisse, we'd love to hear from you. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Charisse Bryan. I'm located in Pickering, Ontario, and I'm a software developer / software engineer. So basically, that means that I code and I like to build things with code and technology. And I'm not an entrepreneur yet, but I'm just really excited to be here to learn more about different kinds of women entrepreneurs and just connect with new people. If I were to start a business, I would probably start a freelance business for just building different tools for people, as well as a programming business related to teaching people how to code. So currently I volunteer with 2 organizations related to spreading STEM education. So I think that I'm very well built for that kind of work. So yeah, I'm just happy to be here and learn more. Thanks.
So fantastic, Charisse. And this is a great opportunity for you to get some ideas and hopefully to sense the enthusiasm, also the real life part of being a woman as an entrepreneur. And one thing you'll probably find quickly is that it can be a very lonely experience, especially with COVID. That's why communities are so important, whether that's in Pickering that you find one, or you're welcome anytime to be a part of our events. So it's so great to have you. Thanks for sharing that today. All right. So I know our time is short, and I don't know if Ruth dropped off. I think she had a client. And she might have actually, oh, there you are. Sorry, Ruth. Go ahead. Under Finda Beauty Care. That's why I didn't notice. Over to you, my dear. 2 minutes. We're almost at the end here.
Definitely. Thank you so much. I'm actually at work right now, but I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you for this. I'm happy to meet everyone again. My name is Ruth. I am the owner of Finda Beauty Care. It's about hair beauty for hair and then the skin at the same time. And like the previous person that spoke about the sensitive skin, same here. I couldn't take any harsh product on my face. And so I was like, okay, we gotta go with something that works for me, for my skin type, and so on. And I'm actually now working with a laboratory that are creating a line for me that will be launched very soon for sensitive skin with botanical products. Botanical ingredients, but also I do offer hair products. Trying to, for this Black History Month, I'm actually working with organizations, the communities that are trying to bring hair product for Black people, for our hair type, also for Black skin. And I'm also now expanding into offering treatment to younger women, trying to boost up their confidence in loving their skin, and then display more of their own hair instead of having to perm the hair or so and so forth. But that's what I'm working. I'm based in Kingston, and I appreciate the opportunity. I couldn't give you my card, but my name is in there in the chat, and I would love to hear from you and follow you on your social medias. Thank you.
Awesome, Ruth. And yes, do connect to Ruth. It's Ruth Soriba, but go ahead, and if you haven't seen her notes in the chat, you can reach out to me because I know where she is. Ellie, I'm giving you the last word. I don't think I missed anyone else that I said I was going to get to. I hope. If so, shame on me forever. You'll go first next time. Ellie, I know you can keep it short. You're incredible. Go ahead. It's all you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, everyone. I'm the Women's Entrepreneurship Facilitator at Keys Job Center. I am not an entrepreneur, but I think I have a soul for that. And actually, every one of us is a company itself. Like, we are our owners, our own owners. So I'm here in representation of Keys, also for the Your Way program. We used to work for the Your Way program. Unfortunately, it is over, but we're still supporting women entrepreneurs. And I'll be happy to help if at any point I can do that. I really congratulate you all for being part of the weekend project. It is an amazing experience. It's the first step that you're taking. Just coming in here is the best that you can do. And I just wanted to mention, I'm originally from Peru. I've been part of Keys for 2 years, and I have a business background. And I love supporting women in terms of entrepreneurship and also coaching. However, I'm not certified on that, but the experience with Your Way has been so amazing that I would really like to look forward to doing more things like this. And I'm really happy to be here. I'm really happy to have heard your stories. Nice to meet you all, and thank you.
Thank you, Ellie. She has supported so many of our women entrepreneurs over the last 2 years through the Your Way program, as she mentioned, women particularly starting culinary-based food businesses in the greater Kingston region. I am just taking a quick look. Did I miss anyone? Lori, you didn't put up your hand. It's okay. Lori is an incredible artist. Definitely go and see her website. I hope that you put it in the chat as well. She's starting a new newsletter. Get on that newsletter. She knows I'm bugging her to start a newsletter. I think we have covered pretty much everyone. All right, yes, I think we did. And I think we had actually 90 minutes on this, but we usually keep the virtual cafe, or no, it was an hour, wasn't it? Is it an hour? I think we did put that. But I think we got to everyone. And I know, as you said, that many of you have some other meetings coming up. So I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of this. I just benefit from 1000% learning from you all. And please do connect with me, Carrie Ramsey, on LinkedIn, and with each other. Let's keep the conversation going. I did put my email in the chat for anyone who would like to get onto the newsletter or connect in any way. If you're not yet a Weekend Project client and you're wondering how to become one, there's absolutely no cost, of course. We're funded by FedDev Ontario. And if you're in the greater Kingston region, and or an Indigenous woman entrepreneur anywhere in Ontario, we are able to serve you as well. I want to say thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone, and just keep on being awesome. We're so proud of you. Take care.